Hello, this is Diana Castro, and you are tuning in to Leaders with a Mission. And today I have someone that if you have anyone in your life that suffers from low thyroid, you need to stay and watch this man. Like literally, let me tell you who he is. His name is Dr. Rubén Valdés, and he is not only someone who's dedicated to helping people heal, he has a profound passion and commitment to helping patients heal from low thyroid and a holistic approach. He is committed to educating his patients, and that's one of his strengths, and providing them with hope for a better life. His mission is to make functional medicine the first line of therapy so that people get the healing they need. So with you, Dr. Rubén.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. Having a great day so far. Excited to be here with you. Excited to see you again.
I know.
Yeah.
Dr. Rubén, please tell us what is going on with this new approach that you are taking, because you come from a line of functional medicine and helping people with diabetes. Like, you have done this whole thing to land here in thyroid. Tell me a little bit about this new vision and mission that you're on.
Yeah, absolutely. So this has been kind of a part of my practice since my career into functional medicine started. And then with all the years of experience, it's really where my passion and my mission, my commitment has really taken me to. And so in the United States, we have a huge problem. We have a gigantic problem with this specific demographic. And I invite anybody that's dealing with low thyroid or has a family with low thyroid to really hear their stories and understand what they go through. This is the mom that, you know, has changed in the way that she feels. She's chronically fatigued. She's depressed. She's anxious. She's gaining weight all the time for no reason. Her hair is falling off. She's losing her beauty. She's just losing herself. And then knocking on door after door after door of doctor after doctor, trying to find a real resolution for what they go through. And to hear, you know, all these things that get blamed, like you're getting old, it's your menopause, you know, you need to exercise more, it's your diet, it's your genetics, when in reality, what they are, it's just victims of a healthcare system that's ill-equipped to properly help them. A healthcare system that is really a lot more focused on managing diseases than in helping people get to the root causes of their problems and actually getting healthy. And so when you see that, and when you understand that, and when you connect with that, like, it just drives you to kind of bulldoze through all of the red tape, through all of the challenges, through all of the ups and downs, through all of the things that life may throw at you, all the naysayers, the disbelievers, because at the end of the day, you know, I think so many times people embark on a purpose, on a mission, and sometimes the purpose may be, you know, to gain recognition, to gain fame, to gain whatever it may be. And sometimes when that's the driving force, like, it just makes the boat never get to where it's going. But when it's about that person or that purpose or that reason or that situation, like, it just drives you in a very different way. It doesn't matter. It's almost like you can be in a hurricane and you feel so much joy and you feel so much peace and so much ease, whatever the opinions may be, whatever the criticism, it's whatever, because you know that what you're doing for this people is so good and so needed and so important that it just gets you out of bed every single day to just keep doing what you were meant to do on this earth.
So let me ask you, why functional medicine? Like I know you mentioned, the health system, but specifically, what is it inside of functional medicine that is supporting these women that are going through this hell to get them better?
Yeah, so in brief, for those that don't know what functional medicine is, it's root cause medicine. So instead of putting a label on you and saying, oh, you have hypothyroidism, or you have diabetes, or you have X or Y illness, we're actually a lot more interested in the reasons why you developed the illness in the first place. And the reality is that answer is different for every single human being. It's like a headache. Oh, I have a headache. You go to your primary care. Oh, you have a pain in the head. Okay, here's some medication. Hope you feel better. But the reality is that there's many different reasons why you actually got that headache in the first place. So you could have problems with your eyes, with your blood sugar. You can have a spasm in your neck. You can have a tumor in your brain or a vascular disease for all you know. And so it's a lot more important to actually dig deep and figure out the why to a disease than just to diagnose a disease and manage it lifelong. So I got into this to really help people. That's what I wanted. That's what my hope and my illusion, going to school, going into debt, paying thousands of dollars to the government for financial assistance and becoming a doctor is because I wanted to help people. And sadly, I really believe that the model of care that people are being offered just doesn't really help them long term. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's obviously a time and a place for some of these things, but the idea that I need to depend on some type of pharmacotherapy for the rest of my life in order to be healthy is something that in many ways just doesn't sit right with me.
So let me interject in that, because you say that the model is to get people better and that people are not dependent on a specific pharmaceutical. Is that part of your treatment? Like when people go through a treatment to look into all of the symptoms and they, let's say the diagnosis is low thyroid or hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's, is that part of it? Okay.
That's part of it.
So if that is the diagnosis, what can they expect from a treatment like yours?
Yeah, great question. So functional and integrative medicine is just that. It's a big toolkit that allows us to draw from many different tools. So for anyone that comes to work with us, there's going to be some changes to their nutrition, to their lifestyle. We're going to clean things up. We're going to help them optimize what's going into their body every single day. We're going to improve nutritional status. Many times we will use what are called nutraceuticals, which are nutrients in therapeutic doses. A lot of people think, supplementation. So when we take supplements, there's a supplemental dose, like the minimum that my body needs. But in functional medicine, when we look at the studies, the nutrient concentrations that are needed in order to make changes to specific processes that are damaged are much higher. So we use nutraceuticals. In some cases, medications may be required, sometimes for a short period of time. If there's, a really complex infection that needs a short duration of a treatment or something, or a binder to remove a toxin, that may be part of the treatment plan too. There may be stress management strategies. There may be sleep hygiene interventions. Everything that we do is ultimately geared at helping the body heal as naturally as possible, right? And to allow the body to do what it does, which is to heal itself.
For people who follow Leaders with a Mission, you were in our first episodes of Leaders with a Mission, and at that point, you were supporting people with diabetes and other things. I want you to give me a really short summary of how has your journey changed and what shifted, and just so that as someone who's witnessing your career, I get a sense of a complete idea, not from what I think, but from the source.
Yeah. So when we were first on, I was with Integrated Health Center of Miami, which we founded here in Miami. From there, after about 3.5 years of work, I got recruited to Colorado by a company called CamCan, and we developed a consulting service called the FM Shift, where I was teaching about 25 other doctors protocols in functional medicine. For whatever reasons, life kind of kept moving forward, and that was a very successful company. And I set my sights on founding the first functional medicine franchise in the country. A lot of the thyroid work that I was already doing got injected into that company. So a lot of that clinical expertise went into that company. And when it's continued to grow, it's now at 9 locations nationally. And after all that administrative and corporate, world, it really pulled me away from the things that bring me joy every single day in my life, which is helping people and serving people. So last year I got the opportunity to come back to Florida and to start a very unique type of practice. It's like unlike anything I've ever done before. It's very, very cool. It's a very cool concept. It's very relational. It's very personal. It's very one-on-one. And it's almost been like this best kept type of little secret in the world of low thyroid. I started it out of a home office in our home. And about 6 months into it, my wife told me, you got to get this practice out of here or I'm going to kill you, because it was just blowing up and the phone going off, and it was growing at a very rapid pace. So we decided to open a headquarter office. We're in Orlando in an area called Baldwin Park. So I'm doing what I love every day. I absolutely love it. I work at a very different pace now. I get to spend a lot of one-on-one time with my patients and really kind of dig deep into the science, the medicine. Like I'm the type of guy that I love clinical care. Like I love caring for people and high-fiving them and hugging them, and
yes,
and that's me.
True story.
Yeah.
I know that. And I'm so happy because I feel like you're coming back to center.
Yes.
You're coming back to you. You're coming back to what lights you up.
Yes,
and
big time.
I love that because I know you from the get-go, and I'm
Yes.
like, I was one of your biggest fans, and that's why we invited you the first time, and this time we have an opportunity to bring you back, and I'm just so freaking excited.
Thank
and
you.
I love that you're focusing on thyroid, because I feel like that's a demographic that is not being very well served, and a lot of people don't know that this support is out there.
Yes.
They don't know why it's happening, and I love that it's coming from you and from you and your wife are like a power team.
Yeah, so for sure. As a matter of fact, the Thyroid Place was a concept that I registered in Florida in 2015. Integrated Health Center of Miami opened in 2014. So I had this in my heart for years, and it was so specific. And I was like, I don't think it's going to work. It's too niche. It's too this. So it's been with me. And then to answer the question, Melanie, who is my wife, she's in the process of training and certifying as a health coach, which is amazing. It's an amazing discipline in and of itself. Their art is helping people with lifestyle change. Something that for a lot of people is difficult. Like, how do you streamline it? How do you make it easy, like turnkey every day? How do you make it sustainable? And so the thing that really fires us up is we both love God, like very, very much. And that's the thing that has brought us together, and that has just really made this mission what it is. Like all of the challenges that have come towards us with this specific project, we just like look up and we're like, God, we know you got this. Like we have zero concern because we know that you're in this. And when you have that security and that confidence, like that's a game changer. And so, yes, she is probably the best part of this project because just her love for people, her love for the Lord is there just shining through every single day. So I would say that that's what makes the magic.
I want to ask you, what books? You've answered this before, but here it comes. What books? And you cannot say the Bible, because I know that's the first thing you're gonna say.
Unfair. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Okay. Besides the Bible,
all right.
What books? What trainings? What coaches are fulfilling your soul, like fulfilling like the other side of you?
Okay. Great question. Right now, I'm getting a lot into ClickFunnels. I don't know if you're familiar with that. So Russell Branson. Russell Branson. Everything that he's doing, I think, is pretty epic. He's just found a really cool way of getting messages and purpose and products out to millions of people. And I think that's just super cool. I mean, so much of what I'm reading right now is just bringing me closer to God. And so honestly, I have found more purpose and more motivation in that than, I've been through Tony Robbins and coaching and nothing wrong. He's amazing, obviously, but I don't know. I think that as I've aligned with my true purpose, the real reason why I'm here on this earth is just become kind of crystal clear, what I need to do. So I don't know. Traction. That's another great one to be able to systematize the business and kind of remove all of the speed bumps and all the friction. Yeah, I think that's a great book. So for now, that's it.
Nothing more. So let me ask you, because you mentioned about your mission and your purpose. Tell us from your own mouth, what is that alignment to your mission and your purpose?
In brief, it's reducing suffering, learn to love unconditionally, understand that that in a fallen world right now where people are hurting really bad, there is a light, and that light can be carried by any individual who's willing to be a carrier of it. And so, I don't know. I mean, that comes with a lot of challenges. That comes with criticism. That comes with judgment. That comes with persecution at times even. But it doesn't matter, because you know that the creator of all things got your back. And you're doing the big man's work. So for whatever that's worth, I understand that as my mission. I really want to be able to help people move back to the way that things were created. And there's perfection in the way that we are meant to eat. There is perfection in the way that we are meant to live, in the way that we relate to each other, in the principles that we carry, in our moral code, in our sense of responsibility to each other. I mean, this is really serious. This is our life. And it's just one. We only get one shot at it.
It's not dress rehearsal, peeps.
No, there's no do-over, And so I just want to make sure I get it right. And that the day that I go, people may say, whatever, he was super successful, medium successful, a little successful, that's all great, but he was a really, really good person. And he loved so intensely, and he really cared. And he was there for me whenever I needed him to be, and he had integrity. And I think that's good enough for me.
I love it. Where the next question is just really easy, which is, where can people find you? How can they know more about you?
thethyroidplace.com and the Thyroid Place on social. That's the best place. And yeah, if you're somebody that's dealing with the frustration and the pain of being sick for a long time, and you're no longer the wife or the husband or the mother or the father that you've always been, and you can't find hope and answers, we got you. We can help.
Before we close, let me ask, what are signs that maybe people don't know that they have, or maybe they've seen their mom or their grandma, whatever?
Yeah.
What are like silent signs that people can be like, ooh, I think you might want to check this out?
Yeah, so the first thing is kind of ignore the labs and actually look at the person. Because a lot of times, 60% of the time, the labs don't show a thyroid problem. The one that people get tested routinely for, which is called TSH. But the symptoms are a tall tale sign. So the first one and the earliest one to show up is fatigue, like feeling tired and not really knowing why you're feeling more tired and more tired. Sleeping 7 to 8 hours and still feeling tired in the morning, like you can't get out of bed. Metabolism slowing, starting to gain weight, sometimes very rapidly or sometimes gradually, but it feels almost impossible to lose that weight. Over time, brain fog, difficulty concentrating, difficulty learning new things. So you have to kind of read a page and then read it again to try and get it in there. Depression, anxiety, constipation, dry skin, thinning hair, hair loss. All of those things are indicative not everybody has every symptom. Most patients have a couple of them. And sadly, for so many of them, they persist beyond taking medication, beyond being told that their labs look good. And the reality is that the real core issues are not being treated. There was a big study in 2018 that showed that 92% of those patients continue to have a declining quality of life, regardless of being on medication, regardless of being told that their labs are normal. So this is a segment, and it is now the medications used for this condition are now the #1 prescription drug in America. So it's incredibly prevalent. And it's incredibly frustrating for the people that are dealing with it. So if you're out there, come talk to us. We got you.
Thank you, Dr. Rubén, for your commitment, for your dedication, for the level of service that you provide. Because I know firsthand that one of the things that everyone, when I interviewed your patients, all they could say was, he takes the time, he listens to me, he educates me. So I know that this is something that you're passionate and that you have heart for. So anyone who is in this situation, you know what to do. Go contact him. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for those of you who are looking to amplify your mission and your message through the power of video, I'm going to invite you to do 2 things. Number 1, please check us out at leaderswithamission.com and apply to be a guest to this podcast. And number 2, for continuous content on lining the light on your business and showing up consistently on video, please visit us at forproductions.com. Until the next one.